What's up, you guys? Welcome to the February 5th edition of NBA 3-Ball, presented by Establish the Run. I'm your host, Mike Gallagher, getting ready to talk 10 minutes of NBA news, basketball, and ads for your fantasy team. And we're going to start off with some news in 10 minutes. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe, please. And starting with news from the last night, which we usually talk about news for today, but it's big. Christian Wood, bad ankle sprain. He is going to miss time for sure. Left the court in a wheelchair after getting helped off the court. Already going to get an MRI and probably going to be a week-to-week thing. Hopefully there's no structural damage or anything along those lines. But man, all the best to Christian Wood. Nothing you could do but really just wait until we hear what the diagnosis and prognosis is on him. Looking ahead, the first thing to start with is obvious. DeMarcus Cousins now becomes a monster. He is absolutely positively must add and blow all your fab pretty much. If you need to do that. But he can play the minutes. He's inefficient with his shot, but I think that'll start to come along. He does so many things that I could see him dominating in a minute role close to 30. Behind him, it was just about all Tate and Tucker as the power forward center combo. 3.3 minutes of Rodion's crew roots mixed in, not counting garbage time. So those two guys will be sliding down a little bit more to play in some bigger lineups. That'll open up minutes for Daniel House and David Nwaba when he comes back as well. Daniel House, pretty sneaky. He's pretty good steals numbers guy. Can shoot the three really well. So he's a guy I think would be a little bit of an ad here. And then also, without Wood, just usage to go around here, guys. Upper 20s usage, even with the big dogs next to him in Wall and Oladipo. So, more guys will be taking big shots. But after Cousins, the next guy would be Jason Tate. I think he's really earning a role here. Moving to the Cavs, we have Colin Sexton questionable with a neck injury. Doesn't sound serious, but we know that the Cavs could be careful here. If he doesn't play, you would assume they'd slide Isaac Okoro up to the 2, start Jetty Osman and Taurean Prince at the forward spots, and then Drummond, who's been bad lately, at the center spot. And obviously, Garland would be in a bigger spot. He has pretty good numbers per 36 without him. Yeah, he's 23-7 in 172-minute sample, so the Sexland lineup would turn into an incel lineup because it's no sex in all land. But just jokes aside, last couple of weeks, their offense has been half-court, 87.6 O rating, barf. The Bucks are flying on people at league-high 25 transition possessions. The Cavs allow a lot, so they are just going to run down their throat. Establish the run, guys. But this game, I think, is going to be a blowout. Maybe a little bit of Bobby Portis here against really bad putback defense, too. Maybe Brook Lopez going to get going as well. Moving to OKC, and no Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, no Luguentz Dort. Ugh. A really tough one here, and a great matchup against the Wolves. You would assume Theo Maledon gets the start. Hamidou Diallo also more than earned his start. Probably going to start Justin Jackson at the 3. Obviously, Bazley and Horford would round out the starting 5. In the last game, it was on-ball Theo Maledon. He led the team with 6.3 minutes of touch time. Behind him, it was Diallo at 3.0, Bazley at 2.8, which is a pretty good number for him. And then Kenrich Williams as the backup point guard, and he was awesome. A great matchup against the Wolves, who allow transition points out the wazoo. They're playing the league's worst putback defense right now. Teams are killing them on the glass. They have the lowest rebounding rate as well over the last 10 games. So, it's all systems go for really any of these OKC guys after they played they won with defense against the Rockets, but they might win with offense today against a Wolves team that is just fantasy gold every night. The Celtics do have Peyton Pritchard questionable, which is good, but Jaylen Brown questionable with knee soreness. He was limping for a hot second in the Sacramento game, looked kind of minor, so I think he'll be okay, but just something to keep an eye on, especially against the Clippers here. If he doesn't go, you know they have to prioritize wing defense against Kawhi and Paul George. So you would think Javonte Green would be the guy that gets called on for the start. You're obviously not going to start Carson Edwards and probably won't start Pritchard or any of the small dudes. Unless it's Aaron Nesmith, I could see him possibly getting called, or Semi Ojeleye as well. But none of those guys are going to be really attractive. It's just going to be like, oh my god, Jason Tatum and Kemba are going to have to carry this team with a little bit more Tice and Tristan Thompson as well. Let's get to the basketball side of things from Thursday, starting with the Hawks. No Trae Young for a calf contusion, surprising. Same calf that he had an injury with earlier this year. He played through it back in early January, but his contusion, thought he'd be okay, but nope, didn't play. And my word, point guards got them 1 of 17 from the field. Rajon Rondo's 2-year, $15 million deal looks so stupid. No offense to the Hawks and all their crazy signings. Kevin Huerter continues to play pretty well there. Just side note, man, just the Hawks offense without Trey, what a difference. With Trey, 114.7. Without him, 98.1. So you're talking close to 20 net rating points difference. It's just a different animal, and they really, really struggled, especially early going here. John Collins struggled after. He had pretty good splits without Trey, actually, but couldn't really get anything going overall. Just, yeah, this team, Goodwin has been fun, but he's been really bad this year. To Utah, nothing really ever, and I never really had anything interesting to say on Utah. Don Mitchell got hot early. Conley was in foul trouble a little bit, but he got it going a little bit in the third quarter to salvage an okay game. But yeah, again, other than that, this rotation is probably the most stable rotation in the league. Warriors come out to play, just crushing the Mavs, 147 points. Juan Toscano Anderson played 40 minutes. Steve Kerr was not lying, saying he was going to play him a ton. So yeah, he did. And their starters were really good. A lot of pace, 114 pace, 139 offensive rating. Just ran all over this team. Kelly Oubre, obviously the story here, career high 40 points. Just the fifth Warrior under Steve Kerr to drop 40 behind Steph, Clay, Kevin Durant, and D'Angelo Russell. Mostly good company. And also Draymond Green, 15 dimes in the center spot. His third center ever to do that behind Jokic and Wilt Chamberlain. But yeah, Juan Toscano Anderson, he's going to get minutes now as we wait at least, a couple games. I think he's going to, I don't think Pascal even matters. Pascal would affect like Bazemore and Damian Lee and Mark Mulder. I think that Toscano Anderson's locked into his role. He's played fantastic basketball right now, so definitely a guy you could look to. Mavs, nothing really to say here. The Kleber Porzingis slam didn't work. Yeah, they just didn't have it today. Rick Carlisle said they got seduced into a shootout, which was a pretty funny quote, but yeah, just horrible defense. Blazers blow up the Sixers in Philly without Dame. Ben Simmons didn't play. They'll talk about that in a second, but yeah, wild game. 40-point third quarter for the Blazers. They only had 5 assists in the first half. Finished with 17 assists. It was wild offense, but it worked. Cantor got it going down low. Melo had his jumper going. Gary Trent played big minutes in 38. Anthony Simons, as expected, had that minutes cap at 20, which I spent way too much time on researching today. But just crazy. Dame did do shooting before, so it may have just been a game off. I probably think he has a pretty good chance to play on Saturday. Ben Simmons was probable, but did not play with a calf issue. Sounds minor. Hopefully, maybe he got scratched because of no Dame, but they lost the game. Seth Curry was also ill. Didn't finish the game. That was surprising. Doc Rivers said that maybe it was a part of it. They didn't have coronavirus earlier, something to keep an eye on. And then also, they missed Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is really good defensively. And just quick note on Joel Embiid's usage rate: 40, 37, 44, 30 versus the Lakers. 37, 36, 40. So upper 30s, 40 range in usage rate for Joel Embiid right now. He is just, my God, he is eating. Talked about the Rockets, but the Grizzlies just didn't look right on offense after the game. Taylor Jenkins said they kind of struggled with one-on-one dribbles. So he thought they were fine on defense overall, but John Morant's been interesting. His effective field goal on jumpers is not great right now. He's getting the rim a lot at 47% compared to 37% post-break. That's since he returned from injury. And he's had some tough matchups. The Rockets are the best half-court defense in the league right now. They played great, even on back-to-back. Surprisingly great defense against him. And he played DeJounte. He's played DeJounte more than anybody else. He was probably the best at limiting what Ja does well. So a lot of things working against him. His minutes are still down. That's probably the biggest concern. Only getting 14 first-half minutes and hasn't really been unleashed on that end. And the spacing hasn't quite been as great. But overall, not really worried about him. And the other thing is Desmond Bane's playing awesome. He's deserving playing time here. Lakers defense was fantastic in the second half to shut the Nuggets down. And Mike Malone said after the game he did go big with Michael Green at the 3 next to Millsap because of the matchup against all the Lakers' size. Didn't work. So yeah, expect them to go smaller again. Nothing to say about the Lakers besides they're really good. Moving to the ads, again, under 25% Yahoo generally. And obviously DeMarcus Cousins, like no-brainer. But Monte Morris, 18% struck me as being really low. I think Jayshawn Tate is really the big winner after Cousins from the Christian Wood fallout because of his defensive stats. And position flexibility. I think he could do some damage here, as he showed today. Mentioned Desmond Bane briefly. He's playing so good. He's so efficient on his jumpers. He's looked awesome. I think Daniel House deserves a look to see if he can carve out a bigger role. Also plays a lot of 4 too, so he could be valuable in that role. If for some reason they could find more playing time from there when David Nwaba comes back. Rodney Hood, he's not the greatest 9-cat guy, but if you're playing a points league, I'd definitely look at him. Toscano Anderson, he's going to have a little bit of a short run, but certainly showing he deserves playing time, along with Kent Bazemore, also kind of a low-key guy who should benefit from this new rotation. So you guys take care. Catch you next time.